Hi, it's Destination Newry, the morning programme. I'm Rowan Hand. This is Terry Ruddy. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Greet your fans in Manhattan and San Diego and the East Coast, the West Coast. Greet your fans in the Antipodes down there. Greet your fans in Montreal, in Canada, and British Columbia. Greet your fans in the Costa del what bloody ever!
Are you sure?
It's nice to see you.
Is it? It's good to see you.
Did you guess that because of my enthusiasm?
Oh, absolutely.
We have a happy birthday to sing this morning.
Who for?
Will you help me? Adele Patterson, a lovely girl of Newry. That's her birthday. And we'll sing it for her.
Where's Adele?
I don't know exactly where she lives, but she's on this Facebook thing. And she's
Oh, I
a
see.
wonderful spirit of a young woman, a great spirit. So we're going to sing it. Ready?
Right.
1, 2, to the mic. With passion. Happy birthday to you.
I thought you said with passion.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adele. Happy birthday to you.
Do you think she'll be proud of that?
God bless you, Adele. It's so lovely to hear that you're another year younger today. Absolutely lovely.
Where does she live?
I don't know, I told you.
Oh, you don't know?
You live in a shed. Or does the shed no longer
the
live?
shed didn't. No, the shed didn't take off. It collapsed
Collapsed.
under weight of expectation.
That's the loveliest phrase has been used on this programme this morning. The shed, the men's shed concept for Newry, collapsed under the weight of expectation. I never knew you had it in you. Goodness.
So you always say, we all have it in us. We just have to get it out.
Well, you got it out there. Collapsed under the weight of expectation. This man, trade unionist, social activist, all-round pretty goddamn decent guy. A Newry man to boot.
Oh,
and I had the joy of knowing your mummy and daddy.
Yeah.
Worked with him in the swimming pool in Newry.
Yes, indeed.
We had great fun, great times indeed.
So you got the apple tarts.
Ah, Molly's apple tarts. We were sitting there. Sorry, Molly, I just need to pop in here and rescue that fellow. You know, you've kept me from my apple tart. Get out there
I
now.
know, she used to make an apple tart with potato pastry.
Well, remind me of that.
It was gorgeous. Round about Halloween time.
Yes.
And, well, she mashed potatoes and added flour and
My
stuff.
God.
And it was
Cooked mashed potatoes.
Aye.
My goodness.
And mixed with flour, and that was the base of the tart.
Goodness gracious.
And added the... I forgot about that as well.
I know, you can switch it off. Use your feminine side and switch it off as you talk. Go on. Be multi-skilled there.
Multi-skilled. And, yeah, and it was gorgeous. And, of course, it had to be. It had to be.
Get it off. Keep talking. I'm dying to hear about this apple tart.
I can't, I'm not a man, and I'm not, but
you were tested there, boy.
Anyway, indeed. And now my memory fails me. Was it around Shrove Tuesday or I think it was Halloween, and then there was money hidden.
Money hidden in a little eight-sided threepenny bit. The octagon.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
God knows. But
it was gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. Halloween were special, you know. But isn't it awful to think that your mummy and daddy, my mummy and daddy are gone? These were great people, the salt of the earth, as we say in Newry. Where do you think they've gone?
I've no idea.
If you were to ask me,
if there's a good place, they're in the good place.
You know, that's the second wisest thing I've heard in this program today. If they're in a good place, they're in a good place.
No, I said if there is a good place.
Yes, if there is a good place,
they're in it.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly, and that's as strong as you can really say. You know,
I
really.
think you're right.
They'd be there with greats of the world like Mozart and Modigliani and Gauguin and all these people.
Yeah, all good people.
Good people. Tell me about your
with nobody.
Your land, indeed. But sure, that's all right too.
That's
if
right.
it's the end, it's the end. Back to our stellar mass, if you like. Did you last look at yourself and say good morning as you looked in the mirror? with an outburst, a sunburst of narcissism. Hello, you old stellar mass. You?
No.
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 Didn't think you would. You know.
No.
Recall early trade unionism with which you were involved in Uri. It was in Uri of almost 40% unemployed.
Yeah. My first job was a tea-boy on the building site.
Yeah.
In fact, the first extension of St. Coleman's College.
Mm.
And 1960.
Yeah.
And I was the tea-boy, and what it says, it says on the tin, they made the tea for the men.
Yeah.
But I went their messages and
Yeah.
a wee bicycle and
Yeah.
down to
And you
town.
went, yeah.
So-
you were there, yeah.
I was 15.
15.
Yeah.
How did you escape from school at 15?
Oh, that's another story.
I escaped at 16.
It's funny, it might have been the first, I reflect on my life, it was the first indication, real indication of negotiating. I was in the old technical school, which is now the art centre.
Yes. I went there. Can I interrupt for a
Yeah.
moment? I went there to a man. I'm hearing other noises playing somewhere. Well, I think they've stopped now. I went there. My mother took me there when I failed my 11 plus.
So did I.
And she stood me in front of Mr. Fitzsimons.
That's the man.
And she begged him to get me into the tech,
Yeah.
as it was. And he looked at my record, and he looked at me, and he was obviously blind. He couldn't really see my excellence. And he said, Mrs. Hand, you would be far better off thinking of getting him a pick and shovel. That stuck with me. I remember that.
Right.
But
and he probably was right.
He probably
But,
I was always pretty good with picks and shovels all my life.
But anyway, he...
So what happened to you there?
But I failed 11 plus. But I did an exam. I think we've had this conversation. We've had this conversation before.
No, we didn't. No.
Anyway.
But there's another exam you did.
I did
the entrance
an
exam.
entrance exam.
I did too.
You must have failed it.
No, I got it.
All right. And why did your mother have to ask for it to get you in?
Because, no, not an entrance exam to the tech, an entrance exam into the Abbey, right?
No,
And my father had to pay for me.
No, there was an entrance
What do you mean,
exam for the tech.
No, I didn't do that one.
Well, I did.
Before I did the entrance exam for the Abbey, I went to beg to get into the tech.
Oh, I see.
So when I couldn't get into the tech, my father said, what about the Abbey? We'll do the entrance exam.
Right.
And it made sense to me. I just went and did it and passed it and went in, stayed 2 years and then disappeared over the wall, went into Haldane Shields' timber yard and pulled timber, laboured for Jimmy Morney. Do you remember Jimmy?
No, I don't.
He was the moulder in the yard.
Right.
And he made the floorboards and the skirting boards and all.
Right.
So on a winter's day I would have gone and pulled the timber out of the pile of icy.
And
bundle.
you're only a child.
Only a child.
So that's a far away from... I passed the entrance exam for Newry Technical School. And we're in the physics lab.
Yes.
And we're sitting on stools. And of course, we used to sit on the two legs of the stool.
Oh, yeah, of course you would.
And the fella behind me was on two... And
You did.
I yanked the stool from under me. Under him. And you know something? He got up and hit me.
Were you surprised at this course of events?
I never thought much about it, but he hit me anyway.
Where did he hit you? In the science lab?
Aye, in the physics lab. So anyway...
Did you go down?
I went down, of course, and there was pandemonium.
Yes.
And then, of course, I went in front of the Mr. Fitzsimons.
And Fitzsimons said.
And he investigated this. And how do you think it happened? Something. I said, well, he must have been leaning forward and the chair slipped. And he says, no.
You were consciously lying at this stage.
Of course it was.
Was this to mark the nature of your future career in trade union negotiation?
No, but anyway, he says no. He couldn't have slipped because the floor is rough.
That's
the
nonsense.
wood.
But I would even know that's nonsense.
Well, anyway,
he could have slipped.
Well, there was always a possibility, but I know. Well, of course, because I was telling lies, I knew.
Oh yeah, but you also knew that.
So he was going to
maximise the possibility.
He was going to expel me.
Oh yeah.
And I said, please, sir, if I'll be 15 in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And if you don't expel me, I promise you I won't come back.
That was huge.
And he looked at me, and he looked up at me, he says, son, do you mean that? I said, I do, sir. He says, well, that's okay then, that's a deal.
Had you any temptation as your burgeoning educative scenario developed, had you any temptation to say 2.5 weeks later,
No,
I think
no,
I
no.
will
The
go
key,
back.
no.
No.
The key was, and I did it. I struck a deal.
And you stuck to the deal.
So the day I was 15,
Yeah.
the morning of my 15th birthday, I refused to get out of bed because I didn't have to go to school. At that time, you're allowed to leave school at 15.
I'm hearing, Andrew, just my people on the thing, there's something going on that's interfering with the sound. Would you go out and tell the people out there to please be quiet?
They're queuing up to get in.
I know this.
Somebody watching this.
Yeah, all over the world.
But there's somebody out there.
What about Scotland? We've dealt with our school days. Are they going to take the soup, throw the soup back at the English? That the thistle will depart from the leek, the rose, and one leaf of the shamrock.
Well, I tell you what, I had a holiday in the Highlands of Scotland about 17 years ago.
Yes.
And we drove to Ballycastle and got the ferry to Campbelltown.
Lovely.
And headed up the east coast of Scotland.
Lovely.
And we went to the Isle of Skye and further way on up to the top, the whole way.
Keep talking.
And all what are you on?
I'm giving you the music and sort of bed for this.
No, it doesn't sound like music at all.
Anyway. That was a direct hit on my narcissism.
Oh, right. And you're very good at that.
I am.
So anyway, the end result of this holiday, when I come back and people ask me what I thought of it, and I said, well, I reckon in 20 years' time, Scotland will be a different place.
Yeah.
As people develop more of their self-awareness of their identity.
Yeah.
I'm not finding these words very well, but the whole end of it was...
You don't have to find them. You've been so good previously, I tell you.
The whole end of all it was that, by and large, they predicted that Scotland was changed so much,
yeah.
But it didn't quite predict the idea of them voting independence. But I was aware of them being more aware of themselves as a nation.
And growing. Yeah.
And
would you have a Scotsman to dinner? Suppose you would.
as long as he brings his own haggis.
I know. Have you eaten haggis? You have.
I have, of course. Yeah.
The Americans won't allow it in.
Why not?
They won't. It's something American. The notion of eating sheep's innards and all of that.
Right.
You know. Do you know what I'm going to say farewell to you now?
Right. You're very well.
Very sorry about this. Andrew's going to play music, and then I'm doing God.
Again.
I constantly do God,
right.
as you know yourself. It's Terry Ruddy, a lovely man. Thank you. You'll come back again, will you?
Sure. When I bump into you somewhere, you may.
I'll say, hello, Terry. Will you come on my program?
Yes, and then I'll have to think about
what am I going to
not telling you that story again.
No, but you will be. Our age allows us to do that. You know. Ready? There. Good to see you. This is Terry Ruddy expiring on the morning program Destination Uri. If we have a suitable undertaker, funeral director out there, would you? No, maybe we should go for the paramedics first.
I want you to paramedics.
Paramedics and put everything on hold, Charles. Everything on hold. Go well. Take care. Music maestro.